All right. Well, I'm ready. Are you guys ready?
Absolutely.
Cool. John, are you ready?
I can't tell if he's frozen or not.
Oh, he's not.
I tried to trick him earlier, and it totally worked.
Well, no, that's because my screen actually was frozen. All I had was, hearing you. An auditory stimulus, which you didn't give me.
But I wasn't moving too, so it was effective.
True.
What do you want to know, Ben?
Are you
I was
ready?
busy pretending to be a statue.
Are you ready, John?
My what?
Are you ready to
Are you
start
trying
the
to
show?
be a ventriloquist?
No.
It looks
Not
like
at all.
It looks like you suffered spinal damage.
You guys are the worst.
Don't do that, man. That's too far. It's bad enough that I said that's what you looked like. Then you had to go and impersonate it more. You're a bad person. You should feel bad.
Well, I have a
Terrible
bad
person.
back, if that helps.
No, it doesn't. Anyway, what, Ben?
Are you ready to start the show?
Like now?
Like now.
Like we would have to... What are you saying?
I'm saying...
Am I starting the show?
No, no, no.
Jocelyn's the one who
I'm-
starts the show.
I'm seeing if you're ready for the show to begin, or do you need, like, a potty break or something?
No, I take care of all that before the show begins.
I know, but the show hasn't started yet.
I've done
So-
108 of these, Ben. 109, if you count the start to this one.
It hasn't
I
started.
think I know how things go around here.
Well, in that case, Jocelyn, when you're ready, go ahead and start the show.
Are you sure? You sure?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know about John, though, but I'm sure.
Okay, perfect. This is
I'm
Jocelyn.
definitely ready.
Damn it! I thought if I got it off quick enough, they wouldn't be able to interrupt me.
Oh, I didn't mean to even interrupt you. I was just answering Ben's question. I just wanted you to know that I was ready so that I wouldn't interrupt you. Unfortunately, you were so quick with going that I ended up interrupting you.
All right. Okay. This is Jocelyn from the Angry Chicken and the Gamers Inn, and you're
He is good.
and you're a big
Oops,
giant
I
dick.
forgot to mute. Hold on. Sorry. Let me try that again. I will take another drink like I did before, but I'll mute this time so you don't have to worry about it.
Welcome to
no
Azeroth
sound from me.
Roundtable, episode 109.
Hey, no. I've done 108 of these, Ben. This is not how we begin. And this is definitely not how we begin with Jocelyn on the show.
Really?
Now, we've interrupted her twice. Technically, it's your turn to interrupt her now, but I'll leave that up to you if you want to do it. I am now going to mute, quietly take a drink. You two work it out, whatever you want to do. All right?
Okay.
All right.
All right, Jocelyn, I'm going to mute in 3, 2, don't look at Ben, he'll make you laugh. 1, go.
This is Jocelyn from the Gamers Inn and the Angry Chicken, and you're listening to Azeroth Roundtable. Yay!
Kermit Flail.
It only took 3 tries this time.
That's better than normal.
We got this figured out.
Welcome to Azeroth Roundtable, episode 109. My name is Ben Bumhuffer, and with me, as always, is John Jagger. How's it going, John?
That's me, Ben. I am here. I'm doing good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing much better than I was last week. Much.
Yeah, last week was rough.
Yes, it was.
You had a hurt tooth.
Yes, I did. Yep.
I already know you're going to talk about it in the what you've been up to, so I'm not going to ask you about it, but now it makes me seem like a cold and heartless individual, so I'm going to make myself seem warm and welcoming by saying, welcome, Jocelyn, to Azeroth Roundtable.
Thank you, John. So nice of you to welcome me, unlike Ben.
All
Welcome
Ben
to the
cares
show.
about is his tooth.
Welcome to
Exactly.
the show. Welcome.
So self-centered.
Welcome. 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 Hi, Jocelyn.
Thank you.
It's broken.
We broke Ben. It only took 2 minutes.
No, I've been broken a long time.
His tooth is better, but he's doing weird things ever since.
So, hi, Jocelyn. How's it going?
Pretty fantastic. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me back again.
Well, yeah, we love
I think
having
this is
you.
like, what, fourth or fifth time now?
I think it's like the 6th or 7th, maybe?
Oh, really?
Or
Jeez.
maybe like the
Losing track.
15th? I don't know.
I don't know. Let's just make up a number and say it's right.
It's the 27th
17.
time you've been on the show.
Yeah. The 1720th time.
That makes sense. Yeah,
That's
that
a
sounds
lot.
right.
Yeah. So, what have you been
If
up
numbers
to?
go on forever, eventually 1720th is actually a number.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because eventually you got to use up every description possible.
Or just, treat it like it's the year 1727. Yeah, that was a year.
You
was.
got an extra 7 in there somewhere.
Well, I said 27 and you said 17.
Oh, did
so,
you? I heard
yeah.
20th.
No.
Okay.
I hear a lot of loud cars outside, though. And
I know, there's a lot
fire
going
truck
on
or
outside
something.
right now. It's very exciting over here.
Yeah. So, anyways, Jocelyn, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been up to all kinds of stuff. I've been playing a lot of WoW. When I say playing a lot of WoW, I haven't been doing a lot of things in WoW. I've been doing the same thing for like all the hours.
Really?
I have been playing Ashran. I love it in there so much.
Well, last
So I
time
think,
you were on, you were trying to kill night elves. And
Yes, so I've killed all the night elves. I've killed all
All
the
of
humans.
All
Yeah,
of them.
all of them.
Man, I need to play more WoW. This game's getting better.
Right? So I now have the Manslayer title, which I think fits me to a T. Let's be honest.
oh, yeah.
And then I'm 150 gnomes away from Gnomebane.
Ooh. That's kind of cool sounding,
They're hard
actually.
to find. Yeah, they're hard to find though. They're so damn small.
What's up
Wait.
with that?
I don't know, right? Who picks a gnome? Anyways, yeah. So I've been Ashranning, and since I was last on, I actually discovered that you can do the group finder to find a raid in Ashran, and it's been so much better because then you end up getting ported to whatever realm the leader is on, and so I've had such a better experience. Like it's really competitive and it's super hardcore, and I really, really, really like Ashran now. I mean, I loved it before, but it's only getting better for me, and I see all these people complaining about it, and I'm just like, oh, but it's so good. Because it's like, in WoW, you always have to grind something, whether that's dungeons, raids, rep, you're always grinding something. So right now, I'm grinding conquest points in Ashran, and my gnome kills, obviously. And the difference to me between like PvE grinding and PvP grinding is even though I'm doing the same events over and over and I'm pushing the road in Ashran, every single encounter, every single fight is different because it's real people. So to me, it's different every time, even though it's the same every time. So I don't know. I'm loving it.
Well, good. That's really good.
Have you guys done any PvP? Like I know last time you were, thinking of dabbling, and I think I got you in there for like 10 minutes.
So I constructed the Gladiator Sanctum, or whatever it's called, in my garrison. I was like, I'm going to do this, Jocelyn said. And I went in there and did not have a good time. And died a lot.
Yes,
And
you will. It's PvP. You will die a lot.
Discovered that I don't like how monks play in a PvP setting. So I said, you know what? This will be a rogue activity. And got my rogue up to level 100 and then was like, whew, I'm sick of playing this rogue. And so that was the end of it.
That was it?
Kind of stopped, kind of fizzled out before it really got going.
I do love that you made an effort, though.
I tried. And then I looked at that Gladiator Sanctum, I was just like, he's never going to get any bones. This is never going to happen.
Oh, and see, when you do the Nemesis quest, there's like effigies around the outside of the sanctum and you light them on fire. And I thought that once I completed it, maybe it would just be like a pile of ash or like just a blackened husk or something. No, they stay on fire. So I'm just
Perfect.
slowly lighting everything on fire. It's perfect. So now I have a burning night elf, a burning human, and a burning gnome.
Oh, man. Yeah. Gnomes burning. I can get
Ben's
behind
face
this.
is just priceless right now.
That's cool. I need to see
know,
your
right?
garrison now.
I know. Oh man, it's so cool.
It's like slightly terrifying too. It's like, I know
I tweeted
you.
out a picture, and it was like, because I also got the monument for 5,000 honorable kills in Draenor, and so I'm standing next to this like blood-soaked monument with the gladiator sanctum on fire behind me. I'm just like, wow, this looks aggressive.
Jeez, Jocelyn's just wiping everybody off the face of the planet.
Yeah. I don't feel bad though, because they're Alliance and they've got it coming.
Well, that's good logic. I can't fault you for that.
Yeah, it's spot on, actually, so.
But yeah, outside of WoW, I've been playing Blackrock Mountain because the adventure came out for Hearthstone. So we've got 4 wings out of 5 are available now. And, oh man, they really stepped it up this time. I mean, Curse of Naxxramas was fun, but I find every single boss fight in Blackrock Mountain is different and so fun. Like, just all these different mechanics, and you have to play with cards that you never normally would, and so good. Have you guys, I know, John, you were saying you played a bit of Hearthstone. Have you done the adventure?
I have not purchased it yet. I really want it because I really like Naxxramas. Even when I wasn't really big into Hearthstone, I really enjoyed that, although it's funny because they do the releasing a little bit at a time to kind of gate progress through it. Mm-hmm. It had the opposite effect of me where, like, the first couple of weeks I was like, yeah, and I was powering through it and getting everything done. And then I finished the last boss and had done the heroics, and then the next wing came out and I was just kind of like, eh. So I think I still have like half of Naxxramas left to do, and I feel like I should do that because I paid for it. And then maybe I can buy Blackrock Mountain. But I'm anxious to get my hands on the cards that come from Blackrock Mountain.
Yeah, there's some really good ones. Yeah, there's some really good ones. And I find they did better this time with the class challenges. Not that the Nax class challenges were bad. The Hunter Nax class challenge was really good. That was the one where you just had all web spinners, so it was completely random what you would pull. So there's ones like the mage one this time is all unstable portals, so again it's totally random, really repeatable, and they really make you play with mechanics that aren't popular in the current meta, so it changes kind of how you look at some of these cards. You're just like, oh wait, hang on, this actually is, fun or good or useful or whatever. So I'm enjoying what they've done with Blackrock Mountain so far. I still haven't beat heroics. I beat the heroic first wing of Nax, and then I just keep bashing my head against a wall with the rest of it. So heroic is just not my thing. It's so demoralizing, especially there were a couple of Blackrock Mountain bosses that I got down to, like 2 health, 3 health, and it's like if I just had like a couple more points of damage then I would have won, and then I die, and then I try them again, and then they still have 30 health and I'm dead, and I'm just like, oh, you know what, I'm out. So frustrating.
But it's interesting to hear you say that, because I ran into the same thing where I'm playing and I would do the heroics and I'm like, I'm not a bad Hearthstone player. I know I'm not bad.
I'm a good Hearthstone player.
I go in and I'm like, okay, I'll use this card first, and then and I'm dead.
Right? Okay. Especially when they kill you by like turn 3, you're just like, okay, so that was the thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to ladder now.
Yeah.
Okay,
go back to playing people and feeling good about myself.
I was going to say, it's pretty bad when ladder is less demoralizing than heroic adventure mode.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you a little story. So
I would love to hear a story, Ben.
Once upon a time.
I think Ben has told this story before.
I don't think so, actually.
Oh, no. You're not telling what I thought.
I don't know what you thought I was telling. You have to tell me what you thought I was telling. Anyways.
Okay, I'll tell you. I thought you were going to remind everybody that you wanted to participate in Naxxramas, but couldn't because you have to unlock all the classes first, which you still haven't done.
Good story, John. That's exactly where I was going. Yeah, I was all excited. I'm like, okay, let's try out this free Naxxramas, download, because it was free at one point. And it's like, okay, let's get in there. I hit play. Oh, I need to unlock everything. Okay, I'm done. So...
At least you got the first wing when it was still free, so
no,
you have
I
that content. Oh, you couldn't even get it and download it. Unlock it. Way to go, Ben.
I failed.
When he tried. He's like, it's weird. Every time I click the button, it just says noob at me.
I can't do anything, and it just insults me and my skills.
Yeah, you know how the dwarf is all like, come in and stay a while? He's like, no, just go away.
Get out.
We don't serve your kind.
Feck off.
Pretty much.
Man, this dwarf's aggressive. I don't think I'm gonna
Hey,
stay
Jocelyn?
at this inn.
Kill dwarves next for me, okay?
Actually, I think what I'm going to do, because they're making some changes in, I guess it's 6.2, and because I watched a stream with Halinka, I think last Thursday, maybe the Thursday before, and he was talking about, all the different stuff with Ashran and what's been working and what hasn't been working, and one of the things that they said is these big raids are really messing with the queue times, and they're thinking about, or I can't remember if he said they're thinking about getting rid of it, or they are getting rid of those big 40-man pre-made groups. So if they do that, it's going to start to get really, really hard to do all the Nemesis quests. So I think once I'm done with gnomes, I'm going to move on to pandas, because apparently that is like the hardest thing to do ever. So I want to get that out of the way while I still have the option to queue with a 40-man.
Why would they take
Turns
that away?
out-
That's like the fun way to play.
Turns out pandas are as elusive in Azeroth as they are in the real world. Who knew?
They're like, nobody's playing pandas anymore. I feel like everybody just race changed, especially in PvP. Like, humans are the best race for PvP. So I think that, or at least right now in the current state of the game. So I feel like a lot of people who are serious about PvP and who are still spending a lot of time in Ashran have just race changed over to humans from whatever they were. So, man, that Manslayer took me like a day.
Wow.
It was pretty ridiculous.
So, sorry I interrupted with the Hearthstone stories, but what else are you doing in it? Like, have you beaten the entire thing? Is there more to it once you beat it? I mean, I'm a Hearthstone noob. I got kicked out. So, tell me about this.
There's card backs, obviously. So if you pre-ordered, you got a card back. When you beat Heroic, you get a card back. There's different cards that become available once you beat each boss, as well as the class cards become available once you beat the class challenge. So there's the three different things in it. There's normal, which is where you get the cards. There's class challenges, which is where you get the class cards, and then there's the heroic bosses, which is once you beat them all, where you get the card back. So that's kind of like the rewards for adventure. It's the same as how Nax worked. And I find, at least with these past two adventures, I don't know if it's going to keep being the trend, but the cards that you get in the adventures seem to be really powerful. In general, there are more cards in the adventures than in the expansion that really stick around, go in every deck, all that kind of stuff. Like they're really, really powerful. I mean, some of them are total crap, but a lot of them are really, really good.
That would be the deck that I put together. It's like, oh, this is shiny. Put it in here.
Oh god, I have so many decks that I've tried like that. Like, okay, what do I have that's gold? Okay, put in all the shinies and then fill it in with everything else. It's just terrible, but shiny.
Okay, I gotta ask you if you do this, Jocelyn. So a lot of decks.
I don't know if I want to admit to it. What is it?
Yeah. It'll be good.
Okay.
Because I'll confess to doing it too, so you won't be alone.
Okay.
So a lot of decks require multiple of the same card. It requires 2. But occasionally, I will have 1 gold and 2 that are not gold. Do you do the 1 gold and then 1 of your plain as well when you put the deck, or do you like the uniform?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Oh no, and actually, if it's anything outside of a basic card, like if it's an expert card, I will dust 1 copy of the non-gold version to just give myself more dust. Because you can only ever have 2 in a deck. So if I have 3 copies of the card and one of them's gold, I dust a regular one.
That's good thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I need
You won't do it automatically, unfortunately. Like you have to literally go through your collection, find all your gold cards, and then be like, okay, yeah, I have 3 of this, so I can get rid of it. And it'll give you the warning saying oh, you're invalidating such and such a deck. All you have to do is go and throw the gold version in, and then it'll be fine.
John, you're totally OCD, aren't you?
Why? What do you mean?
You don't put the gold one in there, do you?
Oh no, I totally put the gold
okay.
It's gold. It
Have
does
you
stuff.
seen the gold versions, Ben?
Yeah, they're
so
like animated
shiny.
and stuff.
Ben, dang it, man. Here, go download it on your phone. You have a phone. It's on the
That's
phone.
true. It's on phone now.
I know, it's on my phone.
You eat like a cheeseburger with a milkshake with a side of cottage cheese.
I I don't know where this is going.
I didn't mean to play that sound.
And unlock all your classes, man.
No.
Just do it!
It's super easy.
It is said that wars are
Oh,
only
look,
won.
he's starting
You literally only just opened it for the first time right now.
On my phone, yeah. I just played this music the whole time because, God, I love the music though.
It's so good.
It's good. Come
Okay,
on,
well, you
man.
guys talk. I'll just
Get into
play.
it. You can listen to that all the time.
Yeah.
Welcome to the end.
See, I haven't even signed in.
Oh my god. I gotta go.
It's fun, Ben. Just
I
get your
know.
classes, get some cards, earn a little bit of gold, and then next thing you know, you'll build an awesome deck, you'll feel really cool, you'll be killing everybody, defeating them, killing them, making their card explode, whatever. You'll feel happy.
Well, look, the last time that I actually tried to play was at Nerdtacular last year so I can get the Fireside card back. And then that's it.
Oh
You
my
have
God.
card backs now.
I have a few.
So there you go. You can feel like a special, unique snowflake.
Yay! So, other than Hearthstone, then, what else have you been doing, Jocelyn?
I've been playing some StarCraft 2. I was fortunate enough to get into the Legacy of the Void beta, so I've been trying out Archon mode, which is so fun. It's the mode where you can take 2 players to manage 1 army. So basically what I'm really good at is, building dudes, managing the economy, knowing when to expand. But I'm really, really bad at doing all of that while still controlling the army. So now I can do all of that and just feed dudes to whoever is playing Archon mode with me. And then they can go and kill stuff. It's perfect. It's amazingly fun.
Feed dudes, huh? You really are a manslayer.
I know, right?
I don't know what that means.
I know, bad joke, whatever. No, that's cool, though. I know that is definitely one way that I would like to play the game. I mean, I guess this is going to be the episode where I talk about games that I don't play. Like, I have, Wings of Liberty. I have, whatever the...
Heart of the Swarm?
Heart of the Swarm, thank you. I knew it was HOTS.
Heroes
and
of the
there's like,
Swarm.
yeah.
Heart-
Like, I have it. I haven't played all the way through the campaign and everything. And knowing me, I will never play competitively, but
Yeah.
playing with friends or against them stuff, that's something that could be a lot of fun. So I know once the game's actually released, I'll buy the collector's edition because it's gonna have a pet for WoW, and I'm crazy. So John, we totally have to do that, and then we can end up fighting the entire time over the stream about what we're doing with everything.
Yeah, that'll sound exciting.
You really, really should play through the campaign, though. When we did our Game of the Year awards on Gamers In the year that Heart of the Swarm came out, it won my my Game of the Year.
Oh, very
the,
cool.
The campaign is so, so good. I mean, yeah, there's the whole competitive multiplayer side of StarCraft, and I love watching that, but I, Bronze League for life, dude, right here. So, I mean, I know I'm never going to be competitive, and that's not why I like it. I like watching it, and I like playing it for the campaign and goofing around with friends and stuff, because, oh man, stomping your friends in StarCraft is so fun. And even when you're on the receiving end of that stomping. Been some very entertaining streams. Don't ever play Clark. Never, ever, ever.
Oh, no.
He will end you.
Look, last time I saw him, he was carrying around a Nova sniper rifle. There's no way I would play against him.
Yeah, no, he's there was one time I played against him. I think there's actually a video on YouTube, and I literally was just like, okay, I've got all my dudes. I'm going to go attack Clark. And he was playing Zerg, and I went down the ramp of my base, and there's a creep. And I'm like, okay, so Clark owns the entire map except for my base. So I give up.
Yeah,
That's
Ben,
great.
we might have to play that again sometime.
You should at least play through the campaign, and I mean you can lower the difficulty settings and
Oh,
all the
I
rest
know.
of it, but it's a really, really, really good story. I mean, it's Blizzard. They do fantastic universes with great lore. So yeah, the StarCraft universe is no exception. You should really play it. It's so good. And then the Legacy of the Void, I can't wait. You can't play the campaign in the beta. It's just for multiplayer testing and new modes and balance and stuff that's why they've got it out in beta right now. But yeah, man, the campaign, it's grayed out, and I load it every day. Like, can I see it yet? Can I see it yet? Come on, give it to me, come on. But
If they accidentally patch in the whole campaign, what
Right.
if?
This is why you have to check.
Yeah.
Oops.
Anyone could screw up, you never know.
That's why in Heroes of the Storm I randomly click stuff just to see if it works yet.
You never know.
Yeah.
My goal is, because I loved the Wings of Liberty campaign. Playing through that campaign, one of the most fun experiences I've ever had with an RTS, with a game, period. I loved that campaign, and I was just ready to go into Heart of the Swarm, and it was like the perfect storm of stuff came up, I forgot how to play, like, the Zerg are weird, and I was just like, oh, I can't right now, and then I never went back to it, so my goal is, before Legacy of the Void comes out, have completed that campaign.
Oh, you should. It's so good.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
man.
my
And
goal too.
They do. It starts off a little bit slow because it really focuses on Kerrigan, but it picks up really, really quickly. There's probably like 2 or 3 missions that I was kind of like, like it's all the Zerg backstory, but then as soon as they bring it back into the main story of StarCraft 2, then it really starts to pick up and it gets really interesting. So
I think I met Zagara, and then that was... that was-
Zagara is like one of my favorite heroes in Heroes of the Storm.
Zagara's awesome, and I will
Zagara's
never
so-
forget
You
that that's
shoot
where I got-
banelings.
I know, there's so many banelings.
Oh, it's so good.
So, the only thing I wish for her Heroes of the Storm ability, I wish you could hide the banelings at some point, because there's nothing I like more than just, surprise, banelings. It's my favorite
Yes.
thing.
Baneling bombs.
Yeah,
Surprise Banelings is my Wham cover band.
yeah.
I'm so bad at
Good.
doing that.
I'm terrible at the cover band. The naming game. I'm bad. I'm terrible at remembering actual names of actual bands. So
Well, if it helps,
Thinking
I
of
was in the
cover
middle
band
of the whole thing before I even said, like, thought of Wham. I'm like, oh, crap!
So Wham's just your go-to?
Well, I figured, like, surprise, it's Banelings. Wham!
wham.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's actually not so terrible.
Jocelyn, what is Battle Block Theater?
Oh my god. Okay, so have you guys ever played Castle Crashers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Same
I played it
company.
with you, John.
What?
I said I played it with you, John, so I know you know what it is.
My memory's not as good as yours, or as quick.
Yeah, so it's from the people that made Castle Crashers, but it has a little bit of more mature humor, I guess. It's like if Castle Crashers and their poop humor is here, Battle Block Theater is like here. It's a little bit better, but still hilarious. There's it's like a co-op title. Reminds me a lot of Little Big Planet. There's a level creator. There's a whole community around it and everything else. And basically there's this like opening montage of probably 2.5 minutes that is probably the funniest thing that I have ever listened to and ever seen. It's so good. And I have to go back and rewatch it because I was laughing too hard. I missed half the jokes. And then so basically what happens is you end up crashing your friend ship because it's the ship with all your friends on it. And then you end up imprisoned by cats.
Oh,
And you
okay,
have
you
to,
got
like-
me back now.
Yeah. And you have to like navigate through these levels and collect gems to unlock the exit and collect, balls of yarn to give the cats to buy new items and stuff. And it's really, really fun. It has a great sense of humor. You have the announcer all the time with this like awesome voice, like making comments on like how you died and everything else. And it's kind of like a Little Big Planet with like a little bit of like Super Meat Boy, and it's just so much fun. So yeah, everyone should go pick it up. Apparently it's like a year old. I had never heard of it. It just popped up on my Steam as one of the like recommended for you titles. And I was like, oh, this looks like fun. And then I watched the trailer and I'm like, I love this. So I bought a copy for me and for Ryan. And then, yeah, we played it on Thursday. And it was so good.
Very cool.
I'll have to check that out.
I think I
Because
saw...
you've said a lot of games that it's like that I do like, You also said cats, but it sounds like they're antagonists, which I can get behind.
Yes.
So-
Oh yeah, no, they're like the guards of the prison.
Okay.
We don't like the cats. You get to punch them in the face.
Great, I'm in. Sign me up. Finally, a game I can relate to.
I don't want to know how much you can actually relate to it, though.
I've never punched a cat in the face.
No, I've never punched a cat either. I've kicked my cat totally by accident though. He likes to run between my legs when I'm walking, so every once in a while he just gets caught in the follow through.
No, I understand though. That happens here all the time. What's really bad is when the cat likes to, like hide under the covers and then you jump on the bed.
Okay, I've never done
Accidents.
I haven't landed on her like exactly. I've landed around her, and then was very surprised when she popped out. So, John, how about you? What have you been up to?
So, I avoided being a bad raider, Ben.
How was that?
So I was thinking about last night was our raid night, for that raid team that happens on Thursday.
It was fun.
And I was almost a bad raider because I almost showed up.
You made the active decision not to go to raid?
I was ready to go. I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. Tonight's going to be the night. I have nothing going on. Time to log in. It's raid night. And I was about to, and then I was like, I don't know any of the fights at all, like even remotely. And I know that they have progressed past the first couple of bosses, and I don't want to be that guy that's just like, before we pull, how do you, what do you want me to do exactly?
Well, John, I'm really great at the quick and dirty explanations.
I know, but I would feel bad. So ultimately, I decided I would do everyone a favor and not go.
Okay,
Dude,
first fight.
You should totally come to our raid because we never do homework. We literally go, oh, apparently somehow we downed that boss, so now we're moving on to the next one. Let's see what happens.
High fives, everybody. We did it.
We're still on, I think we're 4 out of 7 in High Mall, I think.
Yep, from what I saw when I came home yesterday, or Tuesday, whatever. Yeah.
We
looks
beat
like
the
we're doing
twins,
good.
and then we got to that dude that, like, I don't
Is a
know,
jerk.
there's some column or something with
Yeah.
some stuff. He's so annoying.
Well, John, let me give you the quick and dirty. So for Hans and Franz, you don't stand in the Pop-Tarts, and you don't stand in the Stampers, and if there's an arrow over you, you get away from the tanks. Done.
Like tarts.
I love Pop-Tarts.
Yeah,
I would
but-
totally always stand in the Pop-Tarts.
No, these are
What
flaming
kind of Pop-Tarts, though?
flaming
All
Pop-Tarts.
the kinds.
They set you on fire.
Do you do the raw Pop-Tart thing? Some people don't cook them.
Oh, yeah, I
don't
always
cook
do.
them.
I used to think
Cooking
people who didn't cook them were wrong. And then I found out that I was wrong all along. Turns out there's a faster way to get Pop-Tarts. And the faster way is to not cook them. And then they're just good to go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got them ready.
Yeah.
S'mores are really
Yes.
good Pop-Tarts. S'mores are delicious. Although, the marshmallow is really the best part. I'm really just kind of waiting for an all marshmallow Pop-Tart.
Well, have you had
I
the...
like the one with like the pink on top with like the sprinkles. Because it looks like a birthday cake to me, and that makes me really happy.
Well, here's the funny thing.
Hey, birthday cake for me!
They actually do have,
For
like,
no reason.
like-
Happy Thursday!
milkshake Pop-Tarts are there. They're very dessert-like. I think they have, like, a cake batter one now. Like, there's all these crazy dessert Pop-Tarts.
Why are they making cake, like birthday cake everything? Did somebody just unlock that alchemy? They're just like, oh, it tastes like birthday cake. Now we need M&Ms and Peeps and birthday
You're saying
cake
this like it's a
flavored
bad
air.
thing.
It is a little much. I'm not. When I got the birthday cake flavored M&Ms, I was like, all right, this is a good thing. I'm happy to live in this world. And then somebody was like, Happy Easter. And they handed me birthday cake Peeps, which the reaction at first was very bad. And then it ended up working out to be somewhere in the middle, so it was ultimately okay. I was just like, oh, this is... Yeah, it's fine, I guess. So... Also, what's up with Peeps?
I don't eat them anyway. They're like fake marshmallow. Bleh.
They're
Covered in
just
sugar.
not even a thing. Like, if somebody said this is what a hologram tastes like, I would believe it. So, anyway, I didn't raid. But I did play Diablo 3 a lot. I've got my seasonal barbarian up to like 43 Paragon for my level.
What
I'm
season?
getting all sorts of legendaries.
Like fall, winter?
Season 3.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Ben, try to keep up.
It's somewhere between winter and spring. We just call it Season 3 around here.
Okay.
It's pretty exciting.
Stupid smart
Just
weather.
call it wing. Winter, spring, wing.
Or sprinter.
Wing season.
Sprinter.
Sprinter, that works too.
Sprinter seems to suggest that spring would come before winter, though.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
wing.
Wing is better, but I didn't want to make Ben feel bad.
Wing makes me think of Paul McCartney and that episode of South Park where they had wing on it. So there you go. Diablo 3 remains awesome. Ben, you should play Diablo 3, but we've already established you hate fun, so I know that's not going to happen. Hearthstone, speaking of fun that Ben hates, I got way into Hearthstone, Ben, because guess what? It's on iPhone. It's easier to play Hearthstone than ever before, Ben.
You can play it everywhere, all the time.
Except when your phone dies.
Except when your phone dies, but that's what chargers are for.
Oh.
Exactly. I play on my phone and I keep it plugged in, and the phone gets so hot I can barely hold it. But I'm still able to play Hearthstone. I could lose my fingerprints and I'd be okay with that because I could still play Hearthstone.
And then I could totally murder someone and nobody would know.
Manslayer.
And I could beat Jocelyn the Manslayer for real. I don't know why that became your voice when you started killing people, but I guess that's true.
Well, that's just how
Totally
it goes.
matches.
Yeah.
Hearthstone's great. I'm getting better at it. I know what decks are now, as opposed
I'm
to just
so
like
impressed.
I listen to the Angry Chicken and I'm like, I know what they're talking about. I know what they're talking about.
There's actually there's a really great post on the Angry Chicken Reddit that has like all the terms that we define, because we did an episode probably about 10 weeks ago that was just like definitions in our strategy section of like what different decks are called and, you know, the terms that we use all the time, and that's posted up on the Reddit. So I think it's reddit.com/r/tac podcast, I think. Anyways,
something.
it's sticky to the top. You can't miss it, and that will really help, I think.
I'll have to check that out, because before when I heard Zoolock, I was just like, is that like what they do when the zoo closes at night? What
Absolutely.
What does that have to do with anything? And some of it I have started to figure out, like, you know, I heard you, I can't remember the name of the card exactly, but talk about like mechanical warpers or something like that. And I was like, I don't
Mech
know.
Warper.
That's it, Mech Warper. I was close.
You
I was
were.
like, that sounds weird. Then I fought a rogue, and all of a sudden the first thing it drops is a Mech Warper, and I was like, what's that? And then all of a sudden the board filled with things on like turn 2, and I was like, what is even going on here? I don't understand. So,
Always kill the Mech Warper.
so yeah, I'm getting way into Hearthstone.
Good.
And guess what? Continuing the every Blizzard game but World of Warcraft, I've also been way into Heroes.
I play that. I have fun with that.
Finally, a game Ben can relate to.
I've been playing a lot of Heroes too. It's growing on me. I'm such a big Smite fan, and I'm still playing the crap out of Smite all the time. But Heroes is starting to grow on me. I find because there's just so many of my friends that are playing Heroes right now. So for a while there was kind of a lull where like everyone who got into the alpha like right at the beginning was just way ahead of me, because I think I was like 2 months behind in getting into the alpha. But now, since they've like opened up beta kind of, it seems like there's so many people playing. So I'm just like, oh, I'm on the same level as a lot of people now. It's not like I'm trying to queue in with people who are totally pro. So I'm enjoying it again.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm finding heroes that I really like and really speak to me. I think part of the problem I had maybe in the very early days of the alpha is there weren't, with the exception of Tassadar, who was just awesome in early alpha. Like, people, my fellow members of the Church of Tassadar, you have no idea how glorious he was in the early days. He is still glorious, but not as much. Turns out they wanted him to be more of a support, like what it says he's supposed to be.
Lame.
Yeah, I know. What's up with that? I thought it was the most brilliant thing. We'll call him a support, but he's actually the best assassin in the game.
No one will see him coming.
Well, you're supporting by killing everything.
No
That's
one
very
expects
supportive.
that. Yeah. I'd rather have that. Someone puts a shield around me. Thanks. I still got to fight this guy, but if you kill him for me, then we're fine. So Heroes is great. And finally, I actually heard about on the Doghouse Systems blog about a thing called Fantasy Grounds on Steam, which is a way to play Dungeons and Dragons now, officially. It's licensed over a computer and actually DM games and things like that. So I am getting the D&D itch like crazy just reading about that. The only issue I have is the buy-in is very, very steep.
For
How much?
everybody?
So it's super complicated. Like, you have to buy the main game, which for some reason when I looked at it this morning, I could have sworn was $59.99. It's actually $39.99 when I last checked, so it's a little better, but the idea is that everybody also has to buy it, but you can buy like a super upgraded license that lets other people get full features with just one person having it, but that's like $100-some. Then you have to download the D&D DLC, which is like another $30-some depending on what modules you buy and all of that. So
Oh, wow.
it's
I'm looking
it's kind
at
of
it right
cool.
now.
It just seems like there's a bit too high of a buy-in, especially when you take a look at it and you say, well, if you get people together, you just need one person to buy the books and then spend the time working on it. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but I've got the itch really bad.
So what you're saying is that I need to make a game.
Probably. Although I
wanna
really want to
play.
DM a game.
Yes, you should.
So, I don't know. Maybe we can come up with a cool podcasty thing that we can do in relation to that, Ben. Ben.
I know.
He's totally
I'm not
ignoring
buying
you.
I know, he's just like into it. He's reading it. So, okay, apparently I'm not the only one that got the itch from finding out about that.
No, I've been wanting to
but-
play a campaign for ever since I started DMing, and I'm tired of DMing, so if you want to do something, I am all in. You have one
Okay.
player.
I'll DM. I got one player.
All right.
Good things are going to happen. So, I'm going to force Ben to start paying attention to what's going on instead of whatever he's looking at, and say, Ben, what have you been up to in life?
I've been looking at the chat room, John.
What do you think of Pop-Tarts, man?
They're okay.
Yay or nay, hot or cold?
Cold. Duh.
I thought he said hot earlier. I think Ben's
No.
a switcher.
I
No,
think
no.
so.
The only reason why you think that is because I talked about the flaming hot Pop-Tarts in the Hans and Franz fight.
Oh.
That's what it was. No, I eat cold
Still
Pop-Tarts.
think you're a secret switcher.
You're just going to have to listen to the episode like you ever do.
Ben Bumhofer, Switcher 3, The Wild Hunt.
Sweet. So, as you know, we mentioned a while ago, I had horrible tooth problems, and I'm not going to go into detail
Right, the tooth.
because detail is bad, especially for people who don't like the dentist, like myself. So on Monday, I had a root canal, my very first one. Woohoo!
Ouch.
I was scared.
How'd that go?
I was really, really scared because the dentist and I, we are not friends.
You should go to a nicer dentist.
Well, I'm talking about the dentist in general. Like, the man isn't really a man. The dentist is like all dentists. I don't know.
What did they put on your McDonald's before the show?
Crack. Anyways, so I went and had a root canal, and it was not a pleasurable experience, but they numbed the crap out of me, so that was good. And I'm sorry if this sucks to hear, but I have a horrible gag reflex, so I got sick once or twice. Not fun.
Aww.
Yeah.
Poor Ben.
It sucked. Anyways,
Poor Ben, indeed.
Enough of that. No one cares.
I was hoping they would just drill on your tooth and like a rainbow would come out.
Like they do.
Yeah. That's what happens when you have a good dentist, not like Ben's the man dentist or whatever he's talking about.
It was great. Demons actually came out. They're all... very different. Very different.
That was really Zergy. He had like mouth bits.
These are my handables.
John is just not having it right now.
No, he never does. Anyways, so I've been talking about Mass Effect 4 forever because I've been, I started at 1 and played all the way through and everything, and I've been doing that for a good, what did you say, John, like 6-7 weeks now, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
had you ever played them before, or
oh,
was
yeah.
this your first time through? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you had me worried there.
Oh, no, I'm not like that.
I was like, this is just StarCraft all over again, and I don't know if I can get behind it.
No. Remember the part where John said I didn't like having fun? Well, it's half true. I don't like having all the fun. I like having some of the fun.
Oh.
Occasionally he gets it right.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, this is the first time that I've actually played all the way through, like, concurrently, as opposed to having, like, years in between. And I did it because I wanted to see, like, the Renegade storyline and stuff versus the Paragon. And it held true for the first game, and then not so much the second, and then by the third I was Paragon again. But I had made decisions in the first 2 games that made me feel like a horrible person by the third game. So
you just have to embrace it, though. You just have to be a badass. Be a renegade.
I can be
Listen,
a badass.
I'm Jocelyn the Manslayer.
Oh, I swear to God, I'm not evil, okay? I don't normally my first playthrough, I am generally Paragon, and that's what I liked about the third one, is that you just kind of got reputation. You didn't really have to pick one way or the other. In the first 2 games, it was like you had to be all Paragon or all Renegade, because if you didn't have enough points in the bucket by the end, you couldn't make the good decisions, the big ending type things, right? Like, you just didn't have those conversation options. But in the third one, it's just like whether you pick Paragon or Renegade, you just got reputation. And then so it was like one big bucket, and that was so much better. Because there were times in the third game that I was just like, you know what? Shut up, smack. And you didn't have to worry that, smacking someone in the face was going to wreck your Paragon rating, because it was just overall a reputation rating. So I really liked the third game and how they did that. But I always play through as Paragon the first time, but I always make sure that I do a Renegade playthrough as well, just to see the flip side. I can't believe you didn't stick with it, dude.
Well, for a lot of things I did, because I just wanted to see how it was different. Like, I wanted Morden to live. So I did the things that made sure that he lived. And it was horrible. So, long story short, last weekend, pretty much right after we finished the episode and after I got some food and carefully ate it, I went through to go, to the final, finishing bit of Mass Effect 3. And so I finished the game, except for the Citadel DLC, because like John believes, it should be played after you finish the game.
Fair enough.
Because it works that really well that way. Yeah. So I'm still doing that. I'm probably going to do that either later tonight or tomorrow, just because I've got to finish it out. Like, I don't want to say goodbye because those games are so good and I love the characters, and I know I'm going to play through it again soon at some point, but it's just like, I'm not ready for it to be done.
Yeah, I can't believe how much Mass Effect really, sucks you in. The only other game I think that has done that to me is Skyrim. Mm-hmm. Is, I can go back and I can play Skyrim. I'm still playing it, 3-4 years after it came out. But yeah, Mass Effect is that one that I come back to at least once a year and play all the way through, all 3. Yeah. It's just so good.
Very. And I mean, so many different things. Like, sure, just by playing the first game differently has affected so much throughout the rest of the series. And I mean, it's great. you know, John and I have preached this game for forever. Jocelyn, you agree with us. If you haven't played the Mass Effect trilogy, just do it. Like, do it.
You will love it, even if you don't like sci-fi games or, you know, like I'm trying to think of all the different things, shooters. You know, if you're not into either one of those and you haven't looked at Mass Effect because it falls into that kind of realm, just forget it and do it, and you will thank us.
Exactly. But other than that, I actually have been doing a lot of WoW. Switched to Fire and had so much fun raiding with it. So much fun. I'm so glad that I'm back. My DPS did drop a little bit, I think, but I don't care because I'm having a blast.
There you go. That's what's most important.
Yep, an Inferno Blast.
Uh,
I know. Anyways, so John, you totally should have come with us to raid. Aludra came with us last night, and she wasn't or hasn't seen, you know, much of those fights, so you wouldn't have been the only person. In fact, we got to Beast Lord, and she got to do the specialized duty with me. That sounds weird.
Sounds kind of gross.
Yeah, so
Sounds
we
like
walked
a good
in.
time to play Hearthstone, now available on your iPhone.
for specialized duty.
Yeah. Do you have a specialized duty? Let me suggest Hearthstone.
It'll help
Matches
you
are
get
kept
through.
short, but just long enough to keep you occupied through the entire duty.
Great. Yeah, but so you know, we killed Hans and Franz, we killed Gruul, we killed Beast Lord. We made the executive decision not to do Orgorger just because, you know, we had like a half hour left. We're like, whatever. So then we went to kill the world boss in Spires of Iraq, killed it, which is if you don't do the mechanics, that fight is so much more like easy to accomplish. So if you know, you're trying to kill like the spawns and everything like that, don't. Just if you're fixated, run away, have everybody else attack the boss. That's how you beat that one. So, simple as that. Other than that, in WoW, let's see. I am still trying to get money back from my Alliance Mage because, you know, I spent everything on the Garrison. I've been leveling my Monk because that's the next one that I want to level. Plus, I'm probably going to have her off-spec be healed just because sometimes we're low on healers, which is weird. And I didn't think I'd ever do that for our raid team, but who knows. But other than that, not a whole lot. So let's go ahead and actually move forward, like after about an hour of just chit-chatting, to the news. Play the sound.
News!
Pro.
All right. Let's see if this one works. That one doesn't work either. What the crap? Okay, well, news. Blah, 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 blah.
You touched it too much, Ben, and now it's
guess.
news time.
John, what's going on with the news? While I try and fix this.
Well, Ben, let me tell you, the Warcraft movie has been pushed back to June 10th, 2016.
What?
Well,
Yay.
Ben, the Warcraft movie has been pushed back to June 10th, 2016.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
So, they asked Duncan Jones, who, as the director, might have some insight as to why this happened. And he said, well, because Universal really liked it and think it should be a summer movie, which is great, but a frustrating extra wait. So, basically, they wanted to come out in the summer. It was originally supposed to come out this summer. Not too surprising that it ultimately got pushed back, considering it was going to be, or it was supposed to come out this winter, I think, because I believe it was
Wasn't
supposed to come out.
Same
thought it
day
was
as
gonna-
Star Wars or something?
Yeah,
Originally.
yeah, it was going to compete against Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's probably not the best place for it. So they pushed it back a little bit, and now it's going to be in summer. And you know, I have to agree with the general sentiment I saw on my Twitter feed, which was, we've waited this long, we can wait a little longer.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic that it's getting pushed back, not because they're having issues with the movie. It got pushed back because it's so good that they want to feature it more prevalently than it was before. I think this is great news. It means that the movie is fantastic. So I'm willing to wait.
Yeah, everybody should be very excited. Ben, are you excited?
I am. I'll be even more excited in a second here if this works. Damn it.
It's So Ben is totally excited. We're all excited. Warcraft movie. You know, I can do summer movie. That's good. June 10th. I'm going to have to mark it on my calendar. Totally a midnight release thing.
Definitely.
That would be
Those
a fun
scenes
one.
at BlizzCon, oh man, so good. Dalaran, I was just like, wow, okay, I want this now, but still willing to wait, I guess, if I have to. But yeah, it looks awesome.
Okay,
It
hold on.
does. I am ready.
Yes.
The other bit of news I threw in here that April 26th, that's Sunday, for those of you with calendars, is the Heroes of the Dorm finals, which is very
Yay!
exciting for anybody who's been following that, or even people who aren't. Check it out. It's been really exciting. There is a Tassadar player from ASU, which, Ben, that's where we live.
I live at ASU?
In Arizona.
Oh.
It's have some state pride. He used ability.
I know. And I was wondering if they are actually going to try that out, given how useful it's been.
So I accidentally picked it one time. And I have to admit, it's pretty useful. The problem is my mentality with Tassadar is still very much tied to how he was early on. I just want to do all the damage, like pick abilities that damage things, slow things, all of that. Just want to damage. So building a stupid wall seems dumb to me. So,
Especially if it's called the stupid wall talent, because,
Yeah.
I mean, really, Blizz should think about renaming that.
it's an odd choice in name, stupid wall. But when I had to use it, I noticed I used it a lot, and it was really useful. I was, saving other players. I was blocking enemies in. All sorts of
Supporting them,
cool stuff.
you might even say.
Some might say supporting my team, like what, I don't know, Tassadar is supposed to be. Ridiculous thought, but
So it's kind
somehow
of like
still true.
Thrall's earthquake thing.
Thrall's Earthquake thing is amazing and is the best talent, ultimate in the game,
Yes.
in my opinion. I really like Thrall.
Definitely.
Sylvanas is my main, though. No.
I love Sylvanas. She's
Oh,
so
really?
much fun.
You did totally switch over to her?
Yeah, I pretty much exclusively play Sylvanas. I still play a decent amount of Tassadar and Thrall, but Sylvanas is my go-to. I've said her name 2 different ways in like 3 sentences.
It's
so.
totally fine. Nobody's keeping track.
Pulling
Well-
a Star Wars, Princess Leia, Princess Leia.
Han and
That's how
Han.
Who says Princess Leia?
One
that old
guy.
guy who's telling him about the Death Star, where he's like, an analysis of the plan provided by Princess Leia.
Yep. General Dodonna.
So wrong.
Yeah. Jocelyn, who do you play as?
It depends. I tend to like playing healers in Heroes. Lily is usually my go-to. I mentioned earlier, I like Zagara. And I really, really, really like Sylvanas. But usually my go-to when I'm going to be playing in any sort of competitive way is Lily. She's just so good, and I just stand there throwing cups at people.
Here, have a drink. Here, have a... She's an enabler.
It's like me in real life. I'm just like, here, drink, go.
I have to say, your fondness for Lily runs counter to your proclivities from everything else you have said so far tonight. You're like, I'm killing gnomes. I'm the Manslayer.
No, it makes sense.
Renegade.
She's having
Suck
drinks.
it up, Ben. Play Renegade. You wuss.
She's
And then,
having
I
drinks
play Lily.
afterwards.
I like to hand out drinks.
I like
Yeah.
to heal people. Yeah, you're right.
Well, no, it's
But I
kind of
guess you got
fitting.
Zagara in there too.
Yeah, Zagara is so badass.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at it this way. Jocelyn, in real life, you like to pass out drinks to everybody. John, you like to put up walls for people. I mean, totally makes sense.
I am constantly putting up walls.
It's true.
Definitely.
But yeah, those are my go-to. And like I said, I have been playing a little bit, but I want to get into it more. So we'll see. And I'm really excited about this whole Heroes of the Dorm thing because they're giving out the Tespa card back for Hearthstone, which is like right now only available to people who play competitively at university. I can't remember exactly the rules around it because basically you have to be a student to get the card back. Unless you're going live to Heroes of the Dorm, then they'll give you the card back. And I was at first I thought they meant like if you watch it live, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get the Tespa card back. And then they were like, oh no wait, live doesn't mean Twitch or ESPN or whatever. They mean like there. And I'm like, is getting on a plane and going to LA excessive for a card back?
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I saw that they were giving that away, and I was super bummed because it looks so cool.
I know, right? Oh, it's like the best. And then especially if you see people who are actually playing with it, when you go up against them on ladder, you're just like, whoa, this guy's hardcore. He has a Tespa card back. Like, that's better than Legend.
This guy doesn't fool around. He went to an event.
Oh my god, what's going on?
In person.
Oh, great.
He
Oh,
was there.
great. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. These sound issues are, like, so screwed up that I don't know what I'm saying. So
Just forget about it, Ben. We can do
just
it.
don't.
I
We
know.
can take care of the bumpers. We have been doing our own bumpers for a long... We have a long history of coming up with better bumpers than what you have.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot.
There's that wall again.
Yeah.
Just built another wall.
Ben's getting too close. Wall.
Yep.
Well, just for that,
Pulled the Tassadar and just walled right up. Hey, speaking of coming up with our own bumpers, that's it for news.
well, hold on. I'm just going to see if it works, and if it doesn't, then that means no Celebrity Murloc Theater tonight. So, roundtable. Nope. Okay.
Round table.
Whee!
I can't actually turn it all the way around without like bashing my mic, so I won't do that. But just pretend I'd spun around.
Wow,
That's
Jocelyn
amazing.
just spun around like 5 times in 2 seconds. It must
I'm
mean
so
it's
sorry.
time for the...
Roundtable.
Round table.
All right, there we go. See, that was better.
Yeah, so
Totally
much.
better.
The other one scares me.
Well, you know what? You should make new bumpers then.
It's got you yelling.
Yeah, it does.
You yell, shut it.
Welcome to the Roundtable, where we discuss in-depth the issues that mean the most to us, the players. This week's Roundtable topic continues off an interesting forum topic about how to bring in new players to the game. Now, John, you're actually the one who saw the forum topic and suggested it as the talking point this week, and I thought that's perfect. And then this was actually after we had asked Jocelyn to be on the show, so it was even more perfect because, well, in pre-show we kind of figured out that when it comes to new players, Jocelyn is our go-to.
Yeah,
that's weird.
I'm at like 3.5 years in the game now, but compared to a lot of people who listen to the show, who've been on the show, I am still a noob. 3.5 years ain't nothing.
Yeah, you actually know
I
what
heard
you're
that
doing.
sound that it played whenever Ben tries to log into Hearthstone. Fun.
So, John,
Noob.
tell us about the forum post.
So the forum post came from a player called Eleonora, and I'm going to go ahead and just read the post real quick here, and we can see what we think. It said, "My dad retired a few months ago, and he's already bored out of his mind at home. So he calls me up last weekend and wanted to try this game I've been addicted to for the past 10 years, World of Warcraft. Yay, he wants to play WoW with me. Maybe I'll even get my mom back into it. But I was wondering what you people recommend." What does she mean by you people? I should recommend I should do when I start playing with them. Should I shower them in gold so they can quickly level up with ease and reach level 100 so we can have fun doing raids and other in-game stuff together? Should I leave them be and re-roll my own level 1 with no gold and no heirlooms? Should I just wait for them to ask me for gold and stuff? Should I give them tons of advice on how to play or let them learn on their own? Should I give them advice whenever I see them doing mistakes or not playing well, or let them be? They're not huge gamers. The only kind of games my dad plays are online casino games. My mom plays Wii Sports and Super Mario Bros. 3 on the Wii that I gave them last year. So this is going to be their first RPG ever. I like that those are the two games, Wii Sports and Super Mario Bros. 3.
There is a PS in there. PS, if I just ask them what they would like me to do, I know they're just going to say something like, "What do you think is best?" Then I'd be like, "I don't know."
I don't know.
So I think the best way to kind of go into this is to talk about how we were introduced, because Jocelyn, I know that you have kind of a unique perspective on how you came in. Mine is definitely different than that, and John, you were there since pretty much the beginning. So, Jocelyn, like, what was your experience like getting into game, and how were those early levels?
Well, for me, I had seen people talking about Warcraft so much. I always wanted to get into it, but never had, I guess, the confidence because, like I said, I only started 3.5 years ago. So by that time, most people had been playing for 7 or 8 years already. Everyone was using, acronyms and talking about all these things that I just totally didn't understand. So it was really intimidating. And then so I had my partner at the time. He and I ended up getting into it together because he had played like years previously and given it up. So we ended up leveling together. So we didn't have we didn't have heirlooms. We didn't have any kind of gold or any of that extra stuff. We pretty much experienced it as the way it was supposed to be experienced. And then remembering that all the patches, all the nerfs, and all that kind of stuff had already happened, obviously, because we picked it up in Cataclysm. So it's not technically the same experience as it would have been in vanilla, but it was the same sort of like leveling from scratch kind of an experience. Yeah. And the reason that I really wanted to get in was because I wanted to be an AIE. So then I had the AIE experience kind of tied into that, which changed my leveling perspective a lot, I think. Versus if I'd just been, me and him leveling up from 0 to 100 without AIE support, I think is still a different experience again.
Yeah, but if you look at it that way, since you were an AIE, you did have the support with you as well. So, I mean, I know that early on you were playing with, other guildmates. I know Sarah was one of them. And like, if I remember correctly, the first time that I actually like kind of knew of you was when you guys were, I think it was Child's Play maybe. You were streaming Blackrock. Yeah. Blackrock. No, what's it? Shoot, it's that dungeon that's in Orgrimmar. So it's
Ragefire.
Yeah,
right?
Ragefire Chasm. So you're like level 10. So. Yeah. Because of that, you actually, met some people in the guild and, had, I guess the best way to put it is, kind of help leveling up, but not like help leveling up. So in that experience and everything, like, what did you find valuable? Like, what did you like? What would you prefer not to have had? Like, how did that play out for you?
It was really nice to have a resource that I could go to that was a little bit more interactive, because I find like, yes, you can go, Google things, you can check out Wowhead, but being able to say like, okay, here's my experience, this is where I'm getting stuck, or this is what I'm finding, or how do I blank, while being able to provide feedback to people was really, really helpful. And it was nice that I could just kind of go to them whenever I felt like it. There were a couple of times where I ended up grouping up with people who either assumed that I should know more than I did, or tried to cram it down my throat, and were just like, okay, so obviously you know nothing, so I'm just going to tell you how to play your character, so just push the buttons that I tell you to, and then we'll get through this dungeon. And obviously, that's no fun either. Like, I still, to this day, like I mentioned earlier, our raid team is totally no homework. We just run in and try it and see what works. And that's really how I enjoy playing the game, is basically like trial and error and figuring things out. Like, yeah, I can go min-max and I can go look at YouTube videos and I can figure everything out, or I can experience it. And to me, it's the experience that makes the game fun.
Yeah, and this was your first MMO, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, it was.
Okay.
I tried to get into Lord of the Rings Online, but for somebody who is 100% completely new to any kind of online gaming, the idea of realms and servers is really confusing. So I literally got as far as select a server in Lord of the Rings, and I was like, what does that even mean? What if I pick the wrong one? What if people kill me? What if I'm really bad? And then I just went, okay, nope, I'm leaving. So I literally never actually got into the game. I don't mean like I didn't like it. I mean like, no, I didn't get past the initial select your server screen in Lord of the Rings. Which is funny because like Lord of the Rings is something I love. It's a franchise and like a universe that I'm really familiar with and have been since I was a kid. But yep, nope. That server choice wall was just.
It's really funny that you mentioned that, because I can remember the first time I played EverQuest. I think I was in middle school, maybe high school, but no, I doubt that. Anyway, I was young, we'll say, and it was the first time I'd ever played a game that had, pick a server. And a lot of the features and small things that we appreciate today did not exist at the time. So I logged in and I was like, I don't know what this means. I'm going to just click one of these things. So I clicked it, made a character, played for like 10 minutes before school, was like, yep, this game's the greatest. Left, came back home, and when I went to pick my server, I couldn't remember what I had picked. And this was before the days of them putting a number next to it saying your character is here. So I was like, I don't remember what I clicked this morning. Maybe it was this, clicked it, my character's gone. I don't have a character anymore. What happened? So I went through and I tried to find them, and I mean, EverQuest was huge at that time, so there were a ton of servers. It's just like, a character's gone. To this day, I still think I could probably log in, and if I went through every server, was like, there he is, the first MMO character I ever made. Just like level 1 has spent 5 minutes in the game, just kind of looked around and went, all right, and then that was it. That was his whole MMO experience. But it's funny because, yeah, that sort of thing can really freak people out or confuse them. And that's why I think, as far as what I would recommend, I think getting them set up is a good place to start. Getting them to where they can log into the game and giving them help to that point, super beneficial. You know, creating accounts, login names, picking servers, making sure they pick the right servers, making sure they understand the faction system so that when you're playing Horde and your innocent mother is like, well, I made a dwarf. You're like, well, see, now I'm going to just kill you over and over again, Mom. So,
but thanks for coming out.
Yeah, so you either...
I'm really glad you're into the game.
Exactly.
Oh,
So,
you're waving at me. Hi.
yeah.
Why did you kill
Noob.
me?
Such a noob. Drop the flag on him.
Hey, remember the time that you
so-
grounded me, Mom? Well, guess what? Punk.
So I think
I'm not
that's
even
important.
getting XP for this.
It's just fun. I'm getting life XP.
Building character.
So I think that's important, but I also think that if we kind of think back to when we first started the game, or any MMO, your first time in an MMO, it is overwhelming in a lot of ways. And it's very easy when you've played the game for 10 years, or not even 10 years, just a couple years, how much you learn in that period of time. I again, thinking back to EverQuest, there used to be this cave that connected 2 different zones just outside of Freeport. I was terrified of this cave for days because I would walk up to it and I would look around and there'd be people, but I'm like, I don't know if I can go in there. I don't know if I should go in there. It could be dangerous. I don't know if I want to go in there. And it'd back away, and I wouldn't go in because there's got to be something scary. It's a cave.
There's like real anxiety tied, or at least there was for me, tied to, you know, like picking a server, making a character, being in the right place, knowing I'm doing the right thing, especially like once you know, because I have no problem doing it in any kind of offline game. Like Skyrim, I just make a character and I go and I run around and I die and it doesn't matter. But as soon as you throw other people into it and you know they can see you, you're just like, I don't want to do anything stupid. They're going to make fun of me. Like, and you just get like this paralyzing anxiety about like where to go and what to do. And especially in a game like WoW, it can be really overwhelming because it's been around for so long. There's so many expansions and so many things to do that I find people, at least when I was leveling, were trying to be helpful. But mostly they were just like, we have to do this and this and this and this and this, and then this is this, and then don't forget your professions and you're this and you're this. And I'm just like, okay, I gotta go. It's dinner time. Bye.
Well, I remember, like, when you were on, I'd log in, you know, say hi or whatever. You're like, hi. And I'd just be like, okay, what do you have questions on? I mean, yeah, I never tried to force feed you, like, especially with lore, because I know that you love that stuff. But, like, we'd take you to places, just be all like, watch this, or do this, or, like, go through the whole experience and be like, this is why, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And, I mean, hopefully you enjoyed it. I mean, I had fun running stuff like that. But it's funny how, John, you said how, expansive and big it is and overwhelming. And Jocelyn, you totally agreed, and you both nailed it. If you're used to playing Super Mario Brothers 3, you have left and right, and
Yes.
it's fun. You can jump, sometimes you go up. With WoW, I mean, heck, just like, say, the Blood Elf starter zone is going to be just a bombardment of everything. It's like, okay, you have to learn how to navigate. You have ramps that go up. You have to figure out what's going on, how to read the map. Heck, I mean, just, explain add-ons. And then that's like, wait, you mean the game by itself isn't good enough? It's one of those things that just randomly blows your mind.
Well, and there's also stuff that it doesn't necessarily do a good job of teaching you. I mean, you mentioned add-ons, but then macros is another thing. I still haven't learned how to properly macro stuff. And even like chat commands, like inviting somebody to a group when they're not on your friends list. I still don't know how to do that because it never really tells you. And everyone's just like, oh, can you throw an invite to blah, blah, blah? I'm like,
No.
ooh, can I? So, I mean, there's a lot of sections of the game, and even if you take the little mini menu and start clicking on buttons, and then there's all these tabs and all these windows that pop up, and it's like so overwhelming. So you need help, like almost like a mentor, someone who's there who can help you navigate or tell you things that you might be missing without being really in your face and being like, you're doing it wrong. Like I would say, one of the things she said, oh, should I tell them when they're playing wrong? No. Let them learn. Like if they're not doing like the highest DPS possible, like who cares? Like just let them enjoy the leveling experience. Let them get there on their own. If they decide they get to the point where they want to be like a competitive raider, then absolutely be like, oh, you should hit this spell before this spell because it combos better and you'll get an extra, 1,000 DPS or something like that. That's when you step in, but don't tell them they're doing it wrong when they're leveling up. There is no wrong in leveling. You're so OP.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult to manage all the information. And even if you go to a new player with the best of intentions, like, I'm going to help them out just a little bit. Keep in mind that you're just a little bit when someone is completely confused by everything they can see, hear, and understand at that point is overwhelming. So I think it's very important that you let whoever's playing discover the game on their own. And if they have questions, again, that's when it's important. And I remember recently I was watching a video from the guys at Giant Bomb. They had a guy who had never played an MMO before trying out WoW for the first time. And some of the pitfalls that he ran into, to us, seemed like super basic, obvious things that just would never have occurred to him. And I think that there's a lot of times where, it might be nice to be able to be there for them and say, okay, well, see, you do need to right-click to get the loot off of that thing. Like, that's okay. That's fine. But keep it simple, keep it basic, keep it tied to what they're doing, and let whatever they're doing be the thing that propels them forward. Because you don't want to start someone off and be like, yeah, we got to get you ready for raids, so we're going to min-max the way you go through this quest line and skip these quests because you actually get a higher experience if you go over here. Just, no, don't do that. Just let them go. And don't rush them to the end of the game.
Yeah.
I know a ton of people say the game doesn't really start until you hit 100. Let them decide if the game starts at level 100. Because I'm level 100 right now, and I'm not super interested in the game, but I was way into it when I was 95 and 96 and 97 and so on. So let them decide what part of the game they like. Maybe they'll like PvP.
Yeah. Everyone should like PvP, but you really have to kind of give them the chance to fall in love with it the way that you did. You can't just be like, this is my friend, love her. You have to be like, hey, this is my friend. You guys should totally go on a first date and see if you like each other and let it grow. You can't just be like, grr, love this thing that I love now. Won't work.
Well, back in Wrath of the Lich King is when they kind of started the refer a friend stuff, and I ended up getting, World of Warcraft for my sister for Christmas because I thought, hey, she'll like it. Hopefully. I do. She will too. And, I kind of had to deal with a lot of this stuff. We, let's see, I think I was over at her place when, I kind of walked her through how to make the character and everything. I think I was actually sitting with her too, saying, okay, this is how you move, this is how you do this, and kind of helped her a little bit, with the very beginning of walk over this way, you interact with right click, things like that. And then from that point, I ran home really quick, got online, made a newbie character, and just kind of went with her just to, kind of hold her hand through the different things that she needed to do. I let her lead. If she didn't know where something was, I'd say it's over this way. This is how you find it, and just little things like that. We played together a lot, but it wasn't exclusive. So by the time she got to about level 20 or something, she was pretty self-sufficient, and then that's when she just kind of really felt the thing bite into her, and she just took off. And it's the first 5, 10, I'd say, levels. You want to be there, but you don't want to dictate everything that happens. I mean, you guys are nailing it on the head right there. When I got into World of Warcraft, I had previously played Final Fantasy XI. I played 12 levels of EverQuest. My gnome is still parked right outside that cave that John was talking about. But I had an MMO background. Oh, also Star Wars Galaxies too. I mean, lots of stuff. I played, many different games and everything. And then I get into WoW. And when I did the trial edition, John ran around with me for the first 2 or 3 levels. We were just, in Mulgore because I didn't have the actual game yet. And then the next day when I had my mage, I kind of started. He was there for a tiny bit. Then I think you left for dinner, and then I was all alone until I got to about level 70. So, but
it was a long dinner.
Yeah, it was a very long dinner. But I mean, obviously it worked out. I'm still in the game. I love it and everything like that. When he was on, we didn't really do a whole lot together, just because at that time he didn't have a whole lot of alts. I mean, he had his main, so if I really needed help with a group quest or something, he'd come help me out, kill whatever he needed to and everything. But other than that, he was just answering questions and stuff for me. I wasn't even in his guild. I got an invite to another random guild, and I was just kind of in that for a while, trying to talk to people, because back in Final Fantasy XI, I had to make all of my friends in that game because I didn't play with anybody. And so I started becoming, more social and everything like that, and, learned the mechanics of the game, had a lot of fun. Then finally got about 68 or so, and John's like, hey, you want an invite to my guild? I'm all, sure. So got in with the other people that I'd play with. And the only thing that he did gold-wise and stuff was when he was tired of waiting for me to catch up while I was flying. He bought my epic flying for me, and then I paid him back 3 weeks later after running dailies every day just to make sure that, I paid him back. But because of that, he was there to help me out at the very beginning. I got my basis of understanding of the mechanics of WoW since, again, I'd played other MMOs. And then from there, it just, WoW has a way of just grabbing you and just holding you close and just being all isn't this great? It's such a good warm hug. And I mean, it just draws you in more and more. So once they understand it, let the game work on it, and I don't see any problems from there.
You can't force it either.
Yeah.
If they aren't taking to WoW, if you try to introduce the game to somebody and they're resistant to it, you can only do so much. You can't say, you're gonna like this. We're gonna find out what you need. Get into a battleground right now, because we're gonna find out if that's what you need to like the game. It's just that's not how it works. WoW's not for everybody, so you can't force it.
No, just ask John right now.
WoW's not for everybody. So let them figure it out. Let them discover the world on their own. And sometimes I've known people, Ben, first experience with WoW.
No.
he tried it and was like, "This is absolutely not for me."
Well, I was a warlock.
He went back to his Final Fantasy ways, and I did what any responsible WoW fan would do in that situation. I ridiculed him and his choice of game every chance I got.
Yep.
Until he finally caved and was like, "Fine, I'll try WoW again."
Well, I quit Final Fantasy because, and then I think it was 6 months.
Right, you quit.
Well,
And
bad
then I
customer
was like,
service.
"There's another game for you, Ben." Then I just
Have you heard of Warcraft?
World of Warcraft.
Have a charming brochure.
Yeah, my first character was a warlock. It was a horrible game. What can I say?
Man, you just made all the warlocks very sad.
Oh,
I
always
still have
do.
never tried a warlock.
Don't.
I can't.
Nope. Don't do it.
No.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
No.
But you could get green fire and be Jocelyn the Manslayer warlock.
I probably could, but I don't want to. I want to be like all natural and like good and stuff. I've got like hunter and druid and good ones, monk.
Yeah, this is the girl with her garrison on fire with effigies.
And monuments covered in blood.
I really like
Yeah,
natural
actually, I have
stuff.
a druid, a hunter, a priest, and a monk. I have all very like good type characters.
Yeah, natural stuff is great as long as I can, create the order of the world.
Yeah.
Wipe out this race, wipe out that race. Everything's fine.
Yeah, she's committing genocide over there. Like, but I'm just really kind of natural. It's really just, I'm into balance, as in like balancing how many people the Horde will kill today.
See, that's the thing. I kill so many Alliance people that I need to balance it by being all like priesty and druidy. And makes you forget all about the genocide.
Warlocks,
You're
I'm
not fooling
sorry.
anybody, Jocelyn.
I know.
We know. You just took Ben to task for not being able to be renegade enough.
He'll never live that down, by the way.
Ro,
Flip flops. Ben the
Yeah.
flip flopper.
Ro, I'm sorry that you picked that
Oh, poor
class.
Ro.
Anyways, so yeah, let your parents play. Any new players that you bring in, just kind of let them play. I mean, remember what the experience was like for you, and understand that you can't have things just completely force-fed to you, and let them go.
Can I confess that there was a time in EverQuest where I did the whole "I wish somebody would give me items" thing, though?
Yes.
Like, I didn't beg for items necessarily. I just did the equivalent of like what little kids think will work. Like, maybe if I just stand outside of the store and look sad, somebody will buy me what I want. Like, I did that. I basically stood out in front of the gate of Freeport and was like, I just keep dying. And then someone gave me a full suit of armor, and I was like, yeah.
What?
Yeah. I had a warrior in EverQuest that somebody gave a full set of armor to, and I was like, I look awesome. I am invincible. And sure enough, I was walking all over those bugs, and then I stomped out, and I was like, I can kill anything. And then a bear ate me, and I was like, oh.
Cleaning off the armor was
And then
probably
a
a pain.
bear ate me.
that didn't work out so well. That armor actually was not that great. It seemed really great because it was fancy, but it didn't have stats or anything. Like, it was just kind of lame. It'd be the equivalent of like level 70 gray gear. It's only gonna get you so far.
That's awesome. Well, I don't know. I don't think we can really suggest anything else. Anything else either of you want to add?
I think we covered it.
Yeah, we're in surprise agreement. Turns out there was a correct answer.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
Done.
Oh my.
I
well,
do think that it's kind of weird. I think we're at a strange place where I think WoW is actually the most difficult of Blizzard's games to pick up and play.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's definitely daunting, and I think that's something that everybody has to remember, because we've gotten to adapt with it. For a new player, it is not an intuitive experience. I mean, if you get into Heroes of the Storm, you can get into that game fresh, having no idea what a MOBA even is, and you can do well. Same thing with StarCraft, same thing with Hearthstone, same thing with Diablo. All those games, almost zero initial learning curve to get in and be playing.
Mm-hmm.
WoW is the exact opposite of that.
Very true. Too bad they don't have like a really good tutorial, because even with the boost to 90, which that's the thing, I do not recommend letting a new player actually boost to 90.
No.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, let them play through it for at least
okay.
20 levels.
Yeah, well, yeah, they should absolutely go in and play for a little while. But I will say I boosted a level 3 druid to 90, and it's not terrible the way that they roll out the spells. But I made the mistake of being like, oh, druid, I want to be heals, so I'm just going to pick healer spec. Oh my god, it is like, I haven't even made it out of the freaking jungle because, like, I can't kill anything. So, yeah, poor life choices, Jocelyn, poor life choices. But they give you kind of 2 or 3 spells at a time in, like, a grouping. Mm-hmm. So if you've already leveled a character, it's good. If you're totally new to the game, even that is just, it's too much. It's just like, especially given the kind of storyline around the jungle, it's just like, oh my god, there's a big portal and there's orcs and there's, you know, like, it's so, we need to run now. And it's like, wait, what? I'm still trying to learn out, like, how to run. Like, what button do I press to run away with you people?
Yeah. Like, I boosted a druid as well. I went kitty, and, you know, I had, at the point, I think 5, you know, level 90s. I know how to play the game. I have a rogue that's like 57 or something like that. I kind of know how I'm supposed to play a rogue-ish type character. And so I'm on my cat, and I'm walking around, and it's like, oh, here's these 4 new things. You do this in this situation. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And they called it something different than, like, I would think of it. And everything's like, this group is the kill them really fast group or something. I'm like, okay. This group is the get away fast group. I'm like, what? And I mean, they do a bad job of, you know, explaining talents and everything like that. I mean, it's good for someone who's been playing the game for forever. That's great. But a brand new person, do not take the boost right away. Simple as that.
I think that would be the worst experience, learning a brand new game. If you want them to quit right away.
Yeah, you miss all of the backstory. You miss all the lore. Mm-hmm. You don't fall in love with the world. You're just all of a sudden thrown into this place with all these people who want you to do all these things, and you need the experience of finding out who the Horde is, what, you know, Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor are, and who lives there, and why you're doing what you're doing, and all of that is such a rich experience that you don't want anyone to miss out on.
Exactly. Plus, you know, all of Wrath of the Lich King. You don't want to miss that.
True. You know, the first time through Wrath was pretty fantastic. And even as a new player, like coming in, I think by the time I hit Wrath, it was just before Mists launched. Mm-hmm. And even going through it after the fact, it was still really, really, really fun. Burning Crusade was okay the first time through. I hate going through it now, but the first time through it was okay. But again, I find even going back and leveling different characters through Burning Crusade, I appreciate it more because now I've read the books. So I know what the background of that whole area is. So now I can see what they were trying to do, but it's still no fun to level through. But yeah, Wrath is a really good experience. Kata, not so much, just because it's so disjointed. Mm-hmm. But then Mist was really good. I liked Mist a lot. So you need to see that. You need to see all of that.
Definitely. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and pretend to do Celebrity Murloc Theater.
All right.
Celebrity Murloc Theater. Dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Yeah.
There you go.
Best Murloc sound ever.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
So, John, why don't you tell everybody about Celebrity Murloc Theater and the wonderfulness that comes from it this year?
Hi, everybody. John here from Azeroth Roundtable. Just want to tell you about Celebrity Murloc Theater. We're doing awesome things with Celebrity Murloc Theater this year. Did you know that for every week that we feature a Celebrity Murloc Theater on our show, we are donating to charity? You didn't? Well, we are. And that's because you're awesome, and we appreciate it, and we want other people to benefit from your crazy impression. Now, there's 3 ways that you can submit to Celebrity Murloc Theater. Way 1 is you can record yourself doing an impression of a Murloc, like Jocelyn's going to impersonate right now.
I'm bad at Murlocs. It is known.
The second way is you can do an impression of a celebrity Murloc, which Ben is going to do right now.
Gurgle, gurgle.
Is that Jim Carrey Murloc?
Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
Oh. I mean, that was fabulous, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was good.
Hey, I wanted to do my Matthew McConaughey again, but I'm like, I just did it.
It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
The third way is you can go ahead and take a clip from a TV show, movie, or something else, and go ahead and throw a Murloc in there where you feel it is appropriate. Go ahead and send those submissions to us, AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. We will feature them on the show, and for every submission that we get, for every week that we have a submission, we will be sending money over to Child's Play at the end of the year. So It's for the children.
And this week does count, but because of technical difficulties, we can't play it. It will be played next week, so I'm very, very sorry.
So to make up for it, Ben's going to do another Celebrity Murloc impression right now on the fly.
Give me a person.
Solid Snake. Murgle Gear.
Gurgle.
It sounds just like your Nicolas Cage Murloc.
Surprisingly, Nicolas Cage did Solid Snake's voice in that rendition.
Oh, so it was perfect.
Yep, exactly.
And that's been Celebrity Murloc Theater.
Woo.
Man, this first part of the show just drugged, but man, this last part's just flying by.
Wow. Yeah, I can't segue off of that.
You know what else flies?
What, John?
Flags.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really good way to show pride in a country, state, pirating, all tied very closely to flags. We don't have many good ways to display flags, though, as people. We don't really sail on ships like pirates did.
No.
But
we have flag
can
poles.
do slightly better. We have flags for our bodies.
What?
We call them T-shirts.
What?
It's a great way to show your allegiance, show that you're into podcasts and pillaging. In fact, Ben, if you want to show that you are a fan of this show, Azeroth Roundtable, did you know all you have to do is go to /loot.com?
/loot.com?
Yeah. They've got all sorts of body flags there. You just have to click on the podcast section, find Azeroth Roundtable, and you can get your own Murloc with a mic Azeroth Roundtable body flag.
That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But John, what if you have one of these body flags already? Is there something else that I can wear to help show off the Murloc with a mic of Azeroth Roundtable?
Well, I know what you're thinking, Ben. You're thinking, I want to complete this pirate ensemble that I have going. And there's 2 things that pirates love: jewelry and keys.
What?
They're way into it.
Wow.
Well, if you want to dress up your neck with some hot Azeroth Roundtable jewelry, you can do that with the official Azeroth Roundtable necklace. And if you want to dress up your sweet pirate keys with an Azeroth Roundtable keychain, you can do that too.
That is amazing. I'm going to have to totally pirate out and get my body flag and dress up my keychain and necklace.
Yep, you just have to head over to geekasylum.etsy.com to pick up your very own keychain and necklace. Pick up both. And a shirt.
Yeah.
From /loot.com today.
Body flag.
Body flag.
Represent. Jocelyn, thank you very much for joining us this week. We really appreciate it, and we always love having you on.
Oh, thanks for having me. You guys know I love this show. It's like my WoW outlet. I always feel bad about talking about it on Angry Chicken or Gamers Inn because I'm just like, I play it all the time. This is getting old. But here I can talk about it and it's acceptable.
Exactly. We're very accepting on this show.
Exactly.
That's right.
I love
We're
it.
not judgmental like some shows.
So, where can people find you?
They can find me over on A-Move TV. That is where everything I do podcasting is located. There's The Angry Chicken on Monday nights and then Gamers Inn on Friday nights. And if you want to follow me on Twitch, I stream there quite often, usually a mixture of Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's twitch.tv/GISgamer, and GISgamer is also my Twitter handle. So you can follow me over there and find out exactly when I go live, because it's so sporadic, because I suck at scheduling.
That works. John, how about you? How can people find you?
If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at John_Jagger. That's John, Jon, spelled the correct way. I just offended all the JOHNs out there. That's another Tassadar wall for you. What do you think of that? You can also find me on the NVIDIA stream along with Scott Johnson. That's Saturday. That runs from 3 to 6 Pacific Standard Time. That's a lot of fun. Check out the shenanigans we have going there. I also am the curator of our official Azeroth Roundtable YouTube page, and we are 29 likes, favorites, whatever you call it, on YouTube. Subscribes, that's it. Mm-hmm. That's the word I'm looking for. This era of social media, it's killing me, man.
Subscribe all the places.
Yeah, we need a unified term for I'm accepting this thing into my life. 25 more of those, and we will be putting up the pre and post show every week on our website at youtube.com/AzerothRT. So subscribe.
Today.
Or tomorrow. Any day.
Really,
Just
whenever
soon.
you have time.
Yeah. Look, we're not going to rush you. I'm just saying. 25 more. And
We're here to help if you need.
Yeah. Hashtag body flag.
That's right. If you want to hear more from me, I'm on Twitter at AlTheMage. I'm also on a couple other shows like Geektopia and Battle Pets, so definitely check those out. As for this show, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we are at AzerothRT. If you have any questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom that you want to add to our discussion, you can go ahead and send those to AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. And of course, you can listen to us anytime on Stitcher, TuneIn, iTunes, or AzerothRoundtable.com. And of course, our intro contains music from Volatile Reaction by Kevin MacLeod. You can find more of his music at Incompetech.com.